Catching up with head coach Derek King on today's IceHogs Media Day. Coach King, tomorrow you wrap up your 4-game set against the Chicago Wolves, and then you kind of get into a lot of games away from BMO Harris Bank Center. So for you, going on to the series, we touched upon it a little bit in our text message exchange the other night, but how are you still establishing that playoff-like atmosphere, especially in a time when you're used to playoff hockey and going into game 4, if you will, against Chicago tomorrow night?
Well, we're trying to break it down into like little mini series. Like obviously these 4 games, we kind of approached it like it was a playoff series against Chicago. And we have to play kind of like take our game to that next level where we're playing playoff style hockey. So I think the guys have responded great. We're making sure everybody's competing, and then the next 4 games after this Chicago game, we'll break it down to a little bit of a series, or the next 5 games, doesn't matter. We'll see what they want, and then we'll just continue to promote the playoff like atmosphere.
For a lot of these younger players on this IceHogs team, this is their first go-around of trying to dial into that playoff-like mentality at the professional level. How have they been adjusting it, receiving it, and approaching it? Certainly a bit of a unique circumstance for everyone.
I think they've done a great job. I think from our first game to our games now, we've elevated our it's night and day how we're competing, how we're playing as a team, how guys have each other's backs. They're helping each other out on the ice, whether you're in the lineup or not. Everybody's working hard in practice. So it's good to see they're maturing, they're getting better, obviously. But the biggest thing for me is the compete, and they're playing as a team now.
Jay Taft, your line is active.
Am I unmuted?
Yep.
Okay, sorry. Thanks, Coach. Just without the playoff atmosphere and the real playoff push, what's the most important thing for you, or that you want to see here in this kind of backstretch that we have coming up?
Well, the big thing is with the compete part. We're at a point where now our guys are dialed in. They're competing now. They're figuring out that you can't take a shift off or a game off to compete at this level. And you definitely can't do it if you want to get to the next level. So our big thing we're going to push is just the work ethic, the way they compete, whether it's at practice or whether it's during a game. And if they do that, everybody's going to be happy.
How do you, are you guys doing the evaluation process a lot differently this year? And I'm talking about you guys as a staff, as well as the staff at the Blackhawks organization. Is it going about things differently when it comes to evaluating and looking at the players this time?
Oh, I don't think so, Jay. I think, unless they're going to tell us something different, but we'll, end of the year here, we'll have some Zoom calls. We'll give them a week to get out of here, get them home, and then we'll Zoom call them like we did last year individually, and we'll just talk about their season. We'll go about our business the way we've always done it. Ask what they thought. How did they feel? And then we'll go from that. We'll go to what we think they need to improve on if they want to make that next step. And then, stuff they're going to need to do over the summer to get obviously stronger and what have you.
Sorry to keep going. Is the communication the same or similar then so far this season with you and your bosses, so to speak? Then?
Yeah, it's fine. It's conversations after games or once a week, whether I'm talking with Stan or I'm talking with Bernie, Mark Bernard, and he's talking with Stan, or I'm having conversations with Jeremy about certain players, how are things, and just keeping up to date on guys like that. Especially when those guys come down, he sends a message telling them what he wants from them, and then he relays it to me, so I know I'm sending the same message. There's no point in sending guys down and he gives them one message and I'm giving them the other message. So we're all on the same page. And that'll be at the end of the year. The message I give these guys as our staff gives the players when they leave, that'll be relayed up to the higher people, and they'll know what we talked about.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
Greg Boyson, your line is active.
Okay, thanks, Joe. Hey, Coach, with this season kind of being more, not that it isn't usually, but more of a stress on development over results just because of the uniqueness of it. One of the names that keeps popping up as we talk to the guys, especially the blue liners, is Brian Campbell and the work he's doing this season. Can you kind of just talk about the role he's taken on and how big he's been in the development? Not only the kids still playing with you down here, but those guys who've gone on to Chicago and are getting some sustained success up there as well.
Well, he's huge, and him and Anders work well together. Anders was development before Soupy came on, and I think the thing with Soupy is, you retire as a player and you think, oh, I'm done, I'm not going to be involved in it anymore. But once he got that bug, you could see the passion in him, the way he played, and now the way he's kind of helping these guys and coaching them. So he's been huge for us. And even on the bench, especially on home games where he's helping with the forwards too. So, I can't say enough about how well our development staff as a whole has been had great impact on these kids this year.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
Brandon Kane, your line is active.
Derek, Jeremy said today that he received a COVID-19 vaccination. Have you and your coaching staff received that?
Yeah, a lot of us have had the first shot. So now I got to wait. I think I look at my calendar here. I think I got to check April 19th. We all go for our second shot. It's been available at different times at different groups, allowing us to get it. But, we started the process with this group and now we'll finish it on the 19th. I'm not sure where we're at with the players. But I believe there's maybe an opportunity for them to get shots too.
And Derek, I'll jump in here too. Now moving forward for your IceHogs, you mentioned a lot of the young guys coming down between the Chicago Blackhawks. With the NHL trade deadline nearing here, do you expect a lot more transactions like that? So guys get on the ice, get playing time, and maybe get the right set of eyeballs on them, whether it's in the Blackhawks organization or otherwise?
Yeah, I'm not sure what the Hawks are going to do up top with moves and who has to, they're allowed only so many, right? And some guys have to go to taxi squad. So if guys clear waivers and go to taxi squad, then that means they got to send us a couple guys from the taxi squad. So based on their movement, if they make some movement here, we may see guys down here for the rest of the year. But as of now, I think they're just going to, when they're home and they don't need those players and they're going to be sitting around, we're going to see those guys playing. So we'll just have to see in the future here what's going to happen if they do make any moves.
And I know as a coaching staff, you guys have been used to that, whether you have one game plan going in the night before and then the next day things change. And we've seen that a lot here recently. But from your communication to the players, how are they handling it with especially some of the younger guys that have been in Rockford for a majority of the season? The night before a game, they're probably mentally preparing, and then the next day they find out that they might not be playing. How has that communication been going, and how have they received that information, knowing that things are changing constantly, almost hour by hour? Oh, I think you froze up on us, Derek. Sorry about that.
Yeah, you guys froze too, but yeah, I heard the question. They've been great. I think the biggest thing here is I'm honest with them and I tell them how it's going to go down. And I would hate it as a player if the coaches were not telling me the truth and how the situation is. I told them today after practice, listen, we may get 5 guys down here. We may get 2 or 3. Some of you guys might not get back in the lineup again. I apologize and I'll find a way to get you in somewhere. But as of now, you guys just have to keep working hard on and off the ice, do all the little things right. And when it's time to come, be ready to play. And they understand. And I think the biggest thing, if I'm honest with them and we're honest with them as a staff, I think they respond a lot better. They like to hear what's going on so they know. And then we try to be honest with them. There's no point of lying about, well, you're going to get in, but then don't put them in. So but they're dialed in, they understand, and they're working hard.
Brandon Kane, I see your hand is back up. You are unmuted.
Derek, 2 games in for Josiah Slavin. What have you made of his play so far?
Oh, I like, it's, you see, you get like a scouting report on him on paper, but then we had some footage of him playing. And you always wonder, the way he plays at college level, is that going to translate fine in this level? Because it's a good hockey league, as you know. And I think it's what we saw in the video, which was good stuff, is just, it's moved over to this league and he's doing fine. He's a big body. He's a smart hockey player. He's a student of the game. You know, big guys need to keep working on their first two strides, especially if they want to get to that next level. But I really like where his game is right now. But I usually go by my own little rule of 5 games, give him 5 games and see where he's at after that. Because some players have a tendency to taper off after that. But we'll see. I got a good feeling about this kid that you may see him in the NHL here in the future.
And it seems like of the young forwards, Evan Barrett is probably the next in line if he were to get an NHL call-up at the end of the season. Do you talk to him about that, or do you just let him play it out?
No, I mentioned it to him, just that he's got to do all these little things and keep working on his habits and his work ethic. Like he's got some jam in his game. He's a smart hockey player. Is he the best skater? No. But does that matter? You know, it helps obviously, but he makes up for what he lacks in speed and that with his smarts and his positioning. And he plays with that little jam, like I said. So I just tell him, keep working hard, keep doing all the little things right, because if you do get that opportunity to go up, those are the things that are going to save you during a game.
Thanks.